Tommy from Tech Nexus, and thanks for joining me for today's video. Over the last couple of weeks, we've made a bit of progress on our plant project. So we've done our north-south rack here. We've got it in advanced steel. We've done Area 1 equipment, which is down in the southwest corner. We've got our east-west rack, and what we're going to do is populate Area 2, which will be this northern part of the project, and then eventually we'll get to Area 3, which will be this southeast corner of the project. Now you'll notice I've already extended the slab. So last week we had it quite short. It was 30 by 30 meters. So what I've ended up doing is changing it to be 30 by 60 meters. So that way I can get just a bit more area, because I know that this tank that we're doing for Area 2 is quite large in diameter. So we're going to put in tank 2 from our second p&id of Area 2, and we're going to do pump 3 and 4. So if we want to look at Area 2 equipment, so we'll just open up this file, and we're going to need some sort of reference area for us to work with. So we're going to xref in the generic or general area structural model, which is our slab, and we're also going to xref in the east-west rack, so we get an idea on where we want to place this tank and these two pumps. Now the tank is TK002, so if I come to my plant, my home ribbon tab, and I click on create equipment, and then I'm going to do a vertical vessel, or I can do a vertical tank. It doesn't really matter. It's all sort of same. So I don't want a torospheric head on the bottom. I just want a cylinder. Now I don't want a spherical head. I want to put in, let's put in a cone, and we move it to the top. So in order of shapes, the cone is the top, the cylinder is the bottom, and we might add another cylinder being the base. So the middle cylinder, which is the body, let's make that 20 meters. And the height, let's make it 6 meters. Now, you'll notice when you go down to the base, so this is what the tank is going to be sitting on. So it's automatically inherited the value of 20 meters from the body, which we don't want. We want the base to be a little bit larger. So we can make it 500 either side, or maybe make it 250. So 20 meters, 500, and 600 high. So this is the base or the footing that the tank is sitting on. There's the body of the tank and the cone itself. So D1 being the larger bottom end is 20 meters, which is fine. H2 or D2, which is the top diameter, is 1143. Now I think that's a bit large because you're only going to put one nozzle on the top, so I'm going to make that 300 diameter. The height, I'm just going to make 600, and the E, which is the eccentricity of the cone, we don't have any, so it's 0, and the rotation is 0 as well. So we're going to give it a name, so it's TK002, and I'll go create. And again, I'm going to place it at 0, 0, and rotate it so 90s to the north. So there we have, if I look from the front, there's the tank sitting on our 0, 0. And then now I want to move it, so I want to place it in the middle of this area exactly, so I know it's 30 meters wide, so I'm going to place it 15 meters to the east, and I'm going to move it somewhere around here, which looks like 35 meters might be good. A bit close. So let's move it another 2.5 meters north. Okay, so there we go. There's our tank located in what we think is going to be a good spot for now. Until we start piping, then we can move it accordingly later. So now we've also got left P3 and P4. So like our other model, I'm just going to leave that as a quite generic centrifugal pump until we start getting data sheets possibly from the client. So place it at 0, 0, and it's going to be facing up the screen, up north, because it has to get its suction lines from this tank. So again, I move it over 15 meters to place it in the middle, and I'm going to move it, let's do 22,500. So we've got our suction basically right under this beam here of the pipe rack. So I don't really like that, and I'm going to move it up. Let's go another 750 mil. So there's P3. So we want P4 as well, and when I know that they're going to be placed centrally with one another, so I'm going to move it over a meter, and I'm going to copy it 2 meters this way. So now we have P3, and we also have, if I look at the tag, P3 question mark, and I know it's going to be P004, and go assign. So there we have our tank with the 2 associated pumps for it. So I know by default Plant will place a couple of nozzles on this tank. So one of them is at the bottom of the tank, so we don't want that. So you have to press the control key, left click on the nozzle, and then click the delete button on your keyboard, and that will erase it. And then I'll do the same thing for the other nozzle. I'll delete it. So if I go back to my p&id, I know I've got a nozzle in here, so I'm going to annotate it. And that's N1 is the top. And then if I annotate the tag here, this is N2. So if I go back to my equipment model, N1 is the top. So right click, left click to select the equipment, right click, add nozzle, and what kind is it? So straight nozzle. I'm going to use an imperial unit on this just because this is the default one. And if I look at the p&id, it is a 6-inch line coming in. So I have to make sure that I select a 6-inch or a 150 inches. The pressure class is 150 and it's flanged. And then I click on location. So rather than being radial, it's a top nozzle, and you can see Plant3D places it at the top. And the R value is going to be 0 because we want it in the center. The length, which is just the height above that tank, so I'm going to say 250, and the A value is nothing because it's going to be in the middle, so we click on close. So there's our N1. If we go back to our p&id, N2 is a drain, so it's a 4-inch in CS150 as well. So same thing, I'm going to right click, add nozzle, make it a 4-inch in the 150 spec, and radial, so it is not facing north. So the height, let's for now make it 600, and the length, let's make it 250, and the A value is going to be 180, so it's rotated and facing back towards the pumps. Now for now I'm going to say that that's okay, and if I look to the right view, then you can see it's not. So again, same thing, control, left click, click on the pencil glyph, change location, and change the H value to be, let's say, 750. And there it is. So it's just above the base. It may have enough room there to get any tools in behind to fasten the bolts, but we'll sort that out a bit later once we start modeling the piping and see how the pipe is going to run. So if I do the same thing for the pumps, I'm just going to edit the nozzles and just to check the pumps. So the suction lines are 4-inch 150 and the discharge lines are 3-inch 150s. So we want 4-inch 150s, and we also want to change the discharge to be 3-inch 150s. So do the same for both pumps. So we don't have the ability to change one and change the others. If you had sort of a templated kind of pump or just copied or arrayed around the project, you have to do them all separately, just how the software works. And then we have it. So there's all of our equipment modeled for area 2. If I go back to my XREFs, just to keep this nice and neat and clean. So what I want to do is just detach these and then close off this model. And then in my overall master now, I can attach O2, and there we have it. So slowly we're building up this project, and then eventually we're going to have a half decent model of what we propose for the client for this project. So hopefully that's been informative for you. Check back with me tomorrow. We'll finish off area 3. We'll make a bit more of a start on the advanced steel model for this pipe rack. I'll throw some more connections, maybe throw some bracing and some footings in and some hold down bolts and whatnot. And then eventually, again, we'll get into Navisworks, maybe do a quick clash check towards the end of the week, and then throw it into InfoWorks to see what it's going to look like in real life. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, click thumbs up. If you didn't, click thumbs down. Feel free to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notified daily of all of my different videos. So thanks for watching.